What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today is gonna be the first court appearance for Jake and Rebecca Harrell. I don't know which courthouse it is. It's in Riverside County. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised. So today should be arraignment day, where formal charges are going to be placed. You know, they were arrested for murder with malice, I think it was. I remember initially people were saying it was suspicion of murder, and then other people were saying it was murder with malice. In my experience, murder with malice is usually just called second degree murder here in California. So I don't know, but that was what the arrest warrant had said, right? What I'm confused about is why the grand jury wasn't utilized in this. There's an old saying that a grand jury will indict a ham sandwich. The reason being is this: if you have an arraignment, both the defense as well as the prosecutor, they're allowed to put up whatever evidence, dispute whatever evidence, right? In a grand jury indictment, only the DA is presenting evidence. So it's one-sided, and it's easy to get the case bound over to the criminal court, right? Superior court, whatever they call it in the area, right? I don't see. Rebecca hasn't even got an attorney yet. She hasn't even been appointed counsel. She'll meet her attorney today. The attorney's going to explain to her what's going on. Jake has the same attorney he had in the case with his daughter, when his daughter was brutalized and left unable to speak, blind, paralyzed. Like, Jake Harrell's daughter was left in such a horrible state, and this is the same attorney. There's allegations that this attorney was also a pallbearer for Jake's brother when Jake's brother passed away in the same home. So this attorney seems to be very, very friendly. I'm wondering where Jake's getting the money to hire this attorney. But that's a whole nother thing. Now, so Jake has had representation immediately. Rebecca hasn't, right? And like I said, today her attorney's going to talk to her, and I would think that her attorney is going to ask her, like, are you aware of what has been going on with Jake? You know, Jake is taking the authorities out, and, you know, because from what I heard yesterday, Rebecca said she's sticking to the story, that the Ola story is true, and that she was assaulted, and that baby Emmanuel was taken from that parking lot. Now, shout out to Anatira, the channel Anatira. He's big on IG and TikTok. He has stated that there is footage. Everyone's stuck on the Big Five, right? That she was in front of Big Five, and Big Five didn't have a camera. But according to Anatira, other buildings, other stores, they did have, and they do have cameras, and that there's probably some footage out there from that day. Last night on YouTube, there was an attorney that was saying that today Rebecca and Jake would be let go because there's no evidence. And what this attorney was saying was, there's no body. Well, there's a thing in California, and I believe in every other state, called circumstantial evidence. You don't need a body when you have inconsistencies in the stories, when you have a home where allegedly there was a large amount of blood on the carpet, the fact that the stories just aren't lining up. We'll go back to the inconsistencies. The stories just aren't lining up. The fact that both parents lawyered up, they weren't cooperating. There's just so many things that the circumstantial evidence is enough. So we have that, the circumstantial evidence, and the fact that Jake is going out and assisting authorities. Now, anyone thinking that Jake, especially an attorney, doesn't make, I mean, it does make sense to me. I don't want to slander this attorney, but it seems as if, you know, everyone wants to be a troll nowadays. Everybody wants to be sensational and get some clout, right? The county is not going to waste resources putting those helicopters up, sending out all those units, probably some cadaver dogs, whatever they're utilizing in this search with Jake out there with them. I don't see how Jake is being escorted out there and he's not cooperating in some form or fashion. It makes no sense. People are saying that they're watching the videos and or they're seeing the pictures of Jake and it looks like Jake isn't cooperating. Then why would he be out there? It'll all come out. Today is just the first court appearance. And I won't be surprised if it's postponed at least a week so that the new counsel that's been appointed to Rebecca will have an opportunity to really look over the case, speak to Rebecca, see where Rebecca's mind is. And, you know, there's a lot of things that go into this, especially when you're talking about a murder charge, you know. So I don't get why people or why certain people are saying that, you know, there's no case and they're going to be released today. If they're released today, I would be mind blown. Because they don't need to be seen by the judge to be let go. If there was not enough evidence, the DA would say, release them. This court appearance costs taxpayers money. It takes up time in a busy court system. So in my opinion, this is going to be, this hearing will be moved, rescheduled again, so Rebecca's attorney can go over all the, well, not all, but gather up enough of an understanding of the case and the evidence against them. And they don't, right now, they're not going to know all the evidence. That won't be until later. But they're going to have a good understanding after today's hearing and the next upcoming hearings of what the state actually has. Because the state, if they do have a hearing, the state is going to have to state, hey, we have this, this, and that. They don't have to expose everything at this point, but they have to expose enough to where the judge will say, yeah, we're going to bound this over. And that's when stuff starts getting really real. People are already asking in my comments, what type of deal do I think they would get? Do I think that the Haros would take a deal or go to trial? You take it to trial when you're innocent and you know you're innocent, and you take it to trial when the pleas that are offered to you, the deals that are offered to you are so bad that it makes no sense to accept the plea and therefore forfeit your right to appeal. I've been saying since the beginning that Jake is going to blame Rebecca. He did that with his ex in regards to the crime against his daughter. And I think Rebecca, at this point, is still thinking that if she sticks to the lie, that sooner or later somebody's going to believe her. It's not going to work like that, especially if your husband is placing blame on you, is giving self-serving statements to try to get out from under what I personally think he did. And I'm basing that on what happened to his daughter. I don't know. I wasn't there. The only two people that can say what really happened, one, it seems like, is already cooperating with the authorities. The other one is plain dumb, or maybe just is dumb. Hasn't figured out yet. The jig is up. And once she is convinced, either by her attorney or if she has a conscience, her conscience, then they're both going to be pointing fingers at each other. And it'll just come down to, is it going to be a life without or a life sentence? In order to get a life without sentence, there would have to be special circumstances. I don't know that the district attorney at this point would be able to prove that, because all they have is circumstantial evidence right now. But that's basically what today's going to be. I believe today will be, it's their first court appearance. I believe it'll be postponed. I don't know that Rebecca's attorney, whoever's been appointed, has had enough time to really look at the evidence. If they feel they have, then that attorney is going to let her know right there today, this is what we plan on doing. I also think that attorney is going to let Rebecca know, like, hey, I need to be able to fight this case. And the only way is if you let me know what really happened and we work together, because Jake is going to bury her. I guess there's a good chance that Gunner and I, after the court hearing, Gunner and I may go live and discuss the issues, discuss whatever was brought up in court. I don't know. It depends on what happens at court today. So, again, stay tuned and we may go live. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.